Why do chefs dislike ketchup so much? I think it's more appropriate to ask why there are people who dislike ketchup so much. Chefs are people and have likes and dislikes just like any other folks. While it might be true we tend to have less dislikes, it isn't true that we have none. There's different reasons for liking or disliking something too. I think the issue with ketchup comes from too many people who have seen meltdowns on TV shows where chefs have yelled about customers smearing ketchup all over a steak or plate of food before it has been tasted. This is to a chef like someone buying haute couture and before even trying it on, cutting the sleeves off and sewing a pocket on. It's basically saying that the chef's food is subpar and needs ketchup all over it to make it palatable. It's insulting. Should ketchup be on the table, even in a fine dining restaurant? Yes, and here's why: there's always a kids menu. Even when the kids menu is upscale, it often has some form of fried vegetable, generally potato. Kids like to dip fries into ketchup. So do most adults for that matter. If McDonald's calls them fries and the upscale restaurant calls them frite, they're the same thing and people will want ketchup for them. As far as steak goes, I find ketchup on a perfectly cooked steak revolting and have since I was a kid. I don't like steak sauce either. I like a perfectly cooked steak with perfect seasonings of salt and pepper. That's all I need. Now if you're talking barbecue ribs with sauce, we're in a whole different ballpark. Everyone has their own favorite way to enjoy steaks and other meats. To each his own. Well, they just don't like it as much as we do. It's hard to deny the truth in that statement. But what's the reason? Here are 4 theories. Ketchup is too sweet. Ketchup is very sweet and it's the reason it's so much more expensive than other condiments. The problem with the sweet ketchup is that you have to add way too much sugar to it, and this causes a host of digestive problems for your body. Instead of using ketchup, you can use a sweetened tomato juice that will also have no added sugar, but with a nice, acidic flavor to balance it out. This way, you can get the sweet taste without any digestive issues and you will end up saving money. Ketchup is too spicy. The spicy taste is a pretty important aspect of ketchup. I think you are misinformed. We don't hate ketchup. We don't hate salt either. What we get all bunged up over is when someone applies ketchup, salt or anything else, without tasting it first. Can diners not entertain the slightest possibility that the food tastes good the way it was prepared and might be seasoned correctly? I have seen diners dusting everything on their plate without tasting first and then send it back because it was too salty. That is something worth hating. Salt and pepper shakers are there because everyone can adjust for taste. Condiments are provided to enhance your meal, should you choose to do so. That being said, unless you got fries, don't assume you need ketchup. If you want to apply salt with a tablespoon, go right ahead, after you taste it first. That's why we get upset. It's your meal. Ruin it any way you like. Just don't assume you have to sabotage it before you even try it. I don't think it's the ketchup so much as it is the misuse of ketchup that irritates people so much. It's a strong flavored condiment that easily dominates the flavor profile of whatever food it's used on. When it's used on an item that is simply and robustly flavored in its own right, like a burger or fries, it can complement that flavor in highly compatible ways. However, it will dominate the flavor of anything with a more complex flavor profile, destroying what should be an otherwise enjoyable meal. That's why putting it, or any sauce, on your ribeye makes meat lovers weep. Creative chefs use ketchup to their advantage. It can shortcut the sauce-making process. One of the nicest artisanal barbecue sauces I've experienced starts on a base of a particular brand of ketchup. The chef has used the flavor profile of the ketchup to springboard his signature barbecue sauce. Ketchup can be used for a great deal of things. It's a simple place to start when making your own barbecue sauce. However, some people use it as a replacement or addition to almost everything. Some use it as a glaze on meatloaf. There are other sauces that would be far more tasty. Some use it in place of tomato paste, even though ketchup is generally far sweeter and less savory. Some even put it on eggs for breakfast. I think a chef sees sauces and ingredients in terms of what it should be used for, and ketchup is used in far more instances than it probably should be used for. I think this is why chefs have a disdain for it. I don't dislike ketchup at all. As a matter of fact, when I make hot dog onions, which I do quite often, ketchup is my base after I caramelize my onions. I add the ketchup to it and I let it simmer with a little bit of brown sugar. Ketchup is absolutely necessary when I am eating my Nathan's French fries and also when I am chowing down on a White Castle hamburger. Fresh hamburgers that I get from a restaurant never get ketchup because I want to taste the meat. Not really sure why other chefs hate ketchup, but they probably get upset when they see people put ketchup on eggs or on a $50 steak. Just my 2 cents.